Because Congress has failed to come up with any agreement on additional economic stimulus measures in response to the ongoing pandemic, President Trump has tried to take matters into his own hands, pushing an effort to defer payroll taxes to put more money into Americans' paychecks. But many businesses are pushing back, saying it's the wrong solution and they don't want to participate. So what's behind the payroll tax battle? Here's ABC's Alex Presha.
That sizzle, those clanking dishes, those are sounds of promise for the Silver Diner in Alexandria, Virginia. Something for owner Bob Jimo to smile about.
I love the people. I love hospitality. I love taking care of people and making people happy.
Back in March, he wasn't able to do the things he loved as COVID-19 threatened to close all of his nearly 24 restaurants. He was forced to lay off 1,500 employees. Then the Paycheck Protection Program came through this spring, helping small businesses with forgivable loans if the funds were used to rehire employees.
You consider yourself the poster child for the program.
We think it's been a terrific piece of legislation.
It let him bring back 1,300 workers and continue plans to open this newest location.
We're really fortunate that Congress came together to do it.
But with Congress stalled this summer on more stimulus for the economy, President Trump tried to take action on his own on another front, pushing for a payroll tax holiday.
We're going to save American jobs and provide relief to the American workers.
In August, he signed an executive order allowing employees making less than $100,000 to stop paying Social Security tax. It's a temporary savings of a little over 6%, a payroll tax deferral. But like the name says, it's a deferral through the end of the year, not an outright tax cut.
Payroll tax deferral. You decided not to take advantage of that with your business. Why?
I think it's playing with fire to give them a debt that they don't expect. We don't want to be manipulating their paychecks so that they have a big tax bill next year.
Concerns like Bob's were detailed in this letter sent to Congress by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and signed by more than 30 industry associations. Caroline Harris is the Chamber's tax policy expert.
If I'm making $50,000 a year, every 2 weeks I'm going to get $120 extra in my paycheck. But the reality is come January, I owe that $120 back every 2 weeks, in addition to the $120 that I owe on a normal basis.
And employers could also get squeezed. Rafi Yousefian, a CPA based in Washington, D.C., pointed out, as written, if an employee leaves before the end of the year, their tax burden could fall on the business.
I don't see the advantage in both from an employee perspective and employer perspective. Even if none of my employees leave and I'm not stuck with the debt, even just the administrative burden is enough for me as an employer to not want to have to participate in it.
Not only does he say his clients have shied away from it, his own firm won't use it. And many economists say as a stimulus measure, a payroll tax deferral isn't helping those who need it most.
It would make sense to think about targeting a lot of these funds to people who have lost their jobs due to the pandemic. The second point that I think is really worth noting is that one of the best and cheapest forms of stimulus is certainty. Employers are left not understanding how it's going to affect them.
And then there's the issue of funding Social Security.
Social Security faces huge financing shortfalls, and we need to be making changes to strengthen that program.
Both Republicans and Democrats in Congress have voiced concerns about the impact a payroll tax deferral could have on the program's finances, something the president's rivals have hit him on.
And for our seniors, Social Security is a sacred obligation, a sacred promise made, they paid for. The current president is threatening to break that promise.
A spokesperson for the White House said in a statement the president used the authorities available to him to help workers and still encourages all employers to take advantage of this in order to support hardworking Americans during this period of economic uncertainty as we finish the fight against COVID-19. But ultimately, what every economist and business we talked to said they were hoping for is for congressional action on more economic stimulus.
It's what they owe American employers. It's what they owe American workers.
There are plenty of options we could be considering to figure out how to deal with the real economic crisis at hand. And some of those might include doing more on the unemployment side to help people who have lost their jobs.
Things like extending and improving the Paycheck Protection Program, the original life raft for Bob.
Are you confident that something comes through soon?
I have to be, I'm going to say optimistic, cautiously optimistic. Confident would be hard because it's hard to predict, but I believe that both sides want to do the right thing.
But with that latest stimulus bill failing in the Senate, it's unlikely that any additional economic relief will be coming anytime soon. Meanwhile, a group of senators have raised concerns about millions of federal workers and members of the military that don't have the same option as businesses to simply not take part in that payroll tax deferral. So these individuals will start seeing a bump in their paychecks. But unless Congress changes things come January, they'll have to start paying that money back. So a group of 20 senators have signed a letter and sent it to the Trump administration asking for federal workers to have the option of not taking part in the payroll tax deferral. Lindsay?
All right, Alex, thanks so much for that report.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.